Shalom Eastern Shore. I'm Rabbi David Tokajer with Congregation Maim Chaim, the Eastern Shore's Messianic Synagogue, and I'm bringing you your daily dose of living water. We read in an intriguing account in 1 Samuel 8, where Israel approaches Samuel and informs him that he's getting old, which I'm pretty sure he had already caught on to, and that his sons were total train wrecks. They then proceed to demand that he anoint a king to be over them so that they can be like every nation around them. Notice how the wording used in 1 Samuel 8 is verbatim, the way God foretold things would happen in his prophecy in Deuteronomy 17. God told them before they ever crossed the Jordan that a day would come when they would reject Adonai as their king and would want to be like everyone around them, the exact opposite of setting themselves apart from the nations they were going to dispossess as God commanded. Samuel relays the word of the Lord back to Israel in a strong reprimand, beginning with verse 7. Then Adonai said to Samuel, "Listen to the voice of the people in all that they say to you, for they have not rejected you, rather they have rejected me from being king over them." Then Samuel is instructed to explain to Israel what they should expect with a human king over them. Here's the most heart-wrenching part of the whole story, picking up with verse 19. But the people refused to listen to Samuel, and they said, "No, but a king should be over us, so we may become like all the nations, having our king who will judge us, go out before us, and fight our battles." Israel doesn't just reject Adonai as their king. They don't just ask for a king to be like the nations around them. They double down here and ask for a king who will judge us, go before us, and fight our battles. In no uncertain terms, they are wanting to replace God entirely. Can you imagine how much this exchange had to break the heart of God? Can you imagine how painful this must be for him to hear? It's not like he didn't see it coming, but to hear his children actually say these words, that's gotta hurt. Here's the kicker though. Reading this brings to mind that this isn't anything new, and it most certainly isn't the last time the people of God have acted in such a way toward him. Heck, you and I are just as guilty of this reality. Think about how much in our lives we allow to take up too much of our time. Think about the things we are obsessed with: sports, money, jobs, classic cars, the news, and the list goes on and on and on. We've allowed so much to come between us and God. We've allowed so much to become like gods in our lives. Think about your favorite hobby. Maybe it's binge watching series on streaming services or watching movies. Maybe it's working in the garage on a classic Jeep. Maybe it's a fantasy football league. There are countless things we have dedicated large quantities of our life to chase after. But how much time do we dedicate to our relationship with God? Are we guilty today of the same atrocities of our forefathers? Are we guilty of replacing God's place in our lives with things of the world around us? Maybe it's time we intentionally make some changes. Shalom.